It's your boy, the Black Andy Cap. We're back for another episode of These Three Things. Before I get any further, subscribe to the channel, ding, like the video, and when I'm done, jump in the comments and tell me what you're thinking about what I said, or just what you're thinking in general. This is a conversation for college football fans, particularly Gator football fans in this video, right? So what are we discussing today? Aaron Philo is now committed to the Florida Gators. He'll be in Gainesville next season. That's exciting for a lot of us. He adds some depth to the room. We had heard a lot about Philo coming in. He seemed to be one of the people that Gator fans wanted most. Again, I've said this in other episodes of the podcast. I'm not quite sure why Florida fans are so big on him. Not because he's not a good player, it's because most college football fans don't know anything about him. And so they just heard the name, they loved it, and part of it is because he came from Georgia Tech, and he had a few good games there. But as I've said in the past as well, college football fans, me included, are victims of the moment. What I try to do in this podcast is take myself out of that and not be a victim of the moment and try and be logical about it. Okay, so Philo was a big name in Gator Nation, and there's some reasons to be excited about him. And so why is signing Aaron Philo a big deal? Well, here are my three things why I think this is a great signing for the Florida Gators. Number one, he came with Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech. That means he knows the system, right? So what does that really mean, right? When we say that, oh, he knows the system. Here's why that's so important. Not because he's necessarily got the job. I told you before, I don't think he necessarily is guaranteed the job, okay? I think he's going to bring competition. But the biggest thing he's going to do for the Florida Gators is he's going to give them somebody who can teach the rest of the offensive locker room, including that quarterback room, the playbook, right? We're talking about spring semester, so NCAA rules don't allow interaction between coaches and players except during spring practice. So what generally occurs, right, is that the quarterback will go out during the off season and they run through the playbook with the rest of the offense. They run through it with the receivers. They go out and they take practice reps, just the players themselves. So now that you have Aaron Philo in the room, you have somebody who can teach the system, the lingo to the rest of the offense, to the receivers, and to the other quarterbacks. Okay, that's also key here, right? Because even if he is the starter, you're going to need somebody to back him up just in case he gets hurt. And so what you do is you get that coach, that preseason coach that's going to teach the offense to the rest of the offensive players on the team who don't know anything about it. And so you get a jump start. You're not starting from ground zero when you get to spring practice. That's huge. That's huge in terms of getting the offense and the team off to the right start, right? Because we obviously know this team really needs to jump out of the gates quick. They need something positive. Otherwise, John Summerall and the program and Scott Strickland going to catch a whole bunch of flack. So what he does is he jump starts the process of making the team better and being prepared to play when the season and spring ball is huge for spring ball, because now you're not necessarily just teaching it for the first time and people guessing at it. You have somebody who knows the system, and so you should be much further ahead when spring practice comes around this season with Aaron Philo in the locker room. Thing number two about Aaron Philo, playmaker. One of the things I've talked about that DJ lacked was being a playmaker. And go check out the episode where I talked about the portal and whether or not it was a big deal that DJ would leave the squad. And I told you, no, it's not. And one of the reasons I gave you is because he's not a playmaker. DJ wasn't a playmaker at Florida. Maybe he goes to Florida State and thank you, Florida State. Florida State loves Mike Gator Nation, we love Mike Norvell. I'm going to make a t-shirt. We love Mike Norvell. Because if he gets DJ, I'm loving it, okay? I'm loving it. But anyway, He's a playmaker. How do I know he's a playmaker? He got a start his freshman year when I was a true freshman and orchestrated a game-winning drive, finishing it off with a touchdown on a run with 22 seconds left. Okay, so he's shown playmaking ability, and that's what you need in the SEC. You need a guy who can make plays. Look at the CFP, this current CFP. All right, quarterbacks who made plays made the difference in a lot of these games. Okay, Trinidad Shambliss made plays. All right, Beck from Miami made play. Didn't have a great game, but he made plays that needed to be made, and they won the game. And so he's shown that playmaking ability as a freshman. And then thing number three, which kind of ties into this playmaker thing, he has the pedigree. He was only a 3-star coming out of high school, but he went back-to-back state championships in the state of Georgia. That's a big deal. Like there's two places, if you go back-to-back as a state champion in high school, you're legit. Texas and Florida, competent Georgia. Three places, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. If you can win a state championship back-to-back in one of those 3 states, you a baller, all right? You know how to win, all right? So he's got that pedigree. Oh, I almost forgot. He broke all of the passing records in Georgia. Whose passing records did he beat? Go check out a guy who went to Clemson and won a national championship, is now the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, all right? Sunshine, that's what I'm talking about. So he's got the pedigree. He's shown that he can win. He's shown he's a playmaker. This is a big-time move for the Gators to get this guy in your quarterback room. I told you once, and I'm telling you again, I still don't think he's the guaranteed starter. Don't count out Tramel Jones. No, I don't have any skin in the game with Tramel Jones. I don't know Tramel Jones, but I watched him play. Matter of fact, Shane Matthews, I don't know if you've ever seen his podcast, Pod Up in the Morning with Shane. Shane Matthews he thinks, he sees it the same way I do. Tramel Jones is a really good quarterback. He just needs an opportunity. And that's part of the good thing about having Aaron Philo in that quarterback room, okay? Not only whether or not, let's say he doesn't start and Tramel beats him out, at the end of the day, you got a guy in there that's going to teach, that knows how to lead. He's seen a winning team, right? And that's one of the things that you're missing, that we've missed up to this point, is we didn't have nobody in there really knew how to win, right? Billy wasn't that guy. DJ obviously wasn't that guy. But we're going to have some real competition this season, right, in that locker room. And I think that you got Will Griffin showing up. He's a baller, all right? So there's going to be some real competition in that QB room that I think everybody in that QB room believes they have a shot to get that starting job. I don't believe that happened last season. I think Billy Napier had his favorites. I've said this before. I think he had his favorites, and everybody knew that. And so nobody really thought that DJ wasn't going to get the starting job, okay? And part of that was because you didn't have any experience in the QB room, right? You had a couple of walk-on type guys. You had Tramel Jones, who hadn't played his entire senior season because of an injury, and he's a freshman coming out straight out of the box. Obviously, DJ was going to get that job almost by default. But now, you're going to have to work for that job in that lot. Everybody's coming in kind of at square one. Philo does have an advantage because he knows the system, but he's going to have to compete, and there's some ballers in that room that you're going to have to be a baller to win that job. So it's exciting news to hear about Aaron Philo committing to the Florida Gators. This gets the ball started off right. Couple more receivers. There's some O-linemen, again, check out my previous episodes. I'm big on it. I feel like O-line is an area, O-line and D-line is an area the Gators definitely need to make some moves in. There are a couple of O-linemen that come from Penn State, okay, following our current O-line coach down. That looks good. Hopefully those guys' names pop up and they commit sometime before the portal closes, because we definitely need help up front on both lines of scrimmage. But anyway, this is your boy, the Black Andy Cap. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Ding, 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 that thumbs up. All right, and get in the comments. I love the comments. I love the discussion. You guys make me think, and it makes the podcast better. Hey, subscribe. We hit 200. Let's get to 300. We're starting small and we're working our way up, okay? So let's get it done, Gator fans. This is your boy, the Black Andy Cap. Until next time, peace.